What an exciting morning today is, and I first want to say thank you to everyone for coming today. Today I stand before you not only as a family and community medicine physician. I'm Dr. Sarah Ramirez. I work at Penn State, but in a role that speaks to the core of who I am as president of the board of the Latino Connection Foundation. This groundbreaking of Woodward Lofts is not just the start of a construction project. It is a frontline response to the housing crisis that has gone unnoticed for far too long. It's a declaration that safe, stable, affordable housing is not just optional. It's foundational to health, dignity, and opportunity. From day one, the Latino Connection Foundation has rejected the idea that health begins and ends in a clinic. We know health is built or broken in the places people live, in overcrowded homes, in unstable neighborhoods, in unsafe environments where families are forced to choose between rent, food, and medicine. That is why we confront social determinants of health head on, because you cannot talk about health equity without talking about housing. And you can't address crisis by standing in the sidelines. We are proud to be the only certified community housing development organization in Dauphin County, a designation that is not just an honor, but a responsibility, a call to lead boldly. And we answer the call every single day. We're building housing so families can sleep safely. We're building stability so children can learn. We're building opportunities so communities can thrive. But what sets us apart is not only what we build, it's how we build it, with community, with trust, with boots on the ground commitment to those who can't afford to wait. For families living with housing insecurity, the clock is ticking. They need presence, they need partnership, they need someone willing to step up. And that is who we are. Today, we also recognize the leaders who stand with us in this work. State Representative Patty Kim, Dauphin County Commissioner Justin Douglas, and Mayor Wanda Williams. Your partnership strengthens our resolve and accelerates our impact, and so many more in this room. We could not be here this morning without your support, your love, and your trust. Together, we're not just breaking ground, we're breaking cycles. We're not just building walls, we're building pathways. And we are not just creating housing, we are creating hope. Thank you and congratulations to everyone whose vision and dedication made Woodward Lofts possible. So let's continue building a future where safe, stable housing is not just a dream, but a guarantee. So thank you very much again for coming, and I'd like to introduce Mayor Wanda Williams to the podium.
But I'm so proud to be here today to honor George for that. As a matter of fact, he just called me recently and said, Mayor, I need all the lots that you have in the city of Harrisburg. You can't have all the lots in the city of Harrisburg. But I did give him 7. So I'm happy for that, because he's going to build 7 more affordable homes in the city of Harrisburg. As I said, good morning, everyone. It's always a privilege to stand with our partners, our neighbors, and our leaders on days like this. A groundbreaking is more than a ceremony turning of the soil. It is a statement of purpose. It is proof that when this region works together, we can transform an empty space into a place where families will find stability, security, and the dignity of a home. The Woodward Lofts project represents exactly what collaborative progress looks like. This development brings together public agencies, private investors, nonprofit organizations, and community advocates who share the same belief that Harrisburg deserves growth that includes everyone. These partnerships strengthen our regional economy, create new jobs, and move us closer to a future where every resident has access to safe, quality housing. I want to thank George Fernandez for his leadership and determination in bringing this vision to life. George has long been a committed partner to Harrisburg, and his dedication to our neighborhoods is reflected in the values that guide this project. Woodward Lofts is not just another development. It is 100% affordable housing. We need a clap on that. That means every single unit is designed for the people who need it the most. That means every single unit is for seniors, working families, and individuals living on fixed incomes will have a home they can afford right here in the community they love, the city of Harrisburg. Projects like this do more than place roofs over heads. They strengthen the economic fabric of our city. They create construction jobs in the short term and long-term stability for residents who contribute to our local workforce. As affordable housing grows, so does the opportunity in the city of Harrisburg. Stable housing allows families to build savings, pursue education, and engage more fully in the life of this community. It gives residents the foundation they need to thrive. And when our residents thrive, the city of Harrisburg thrives. Thank you, George.
Today, Harrisburg adds another jewel to its crown. And with this project, the residents of the city of Harrisburg beneficias todos los residentes del ciudad de Harrisburg. Sí. Un poco español. George, you have, by all of your projects, benefited not just hundreds of residents, but by proxy, thousands of residents. And you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. And I want to thank the mayor. Under your leadership, the city of Harrisburg continues to be on the rise. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to present this proclamation into the record from the Board of Commissioners. We, the Dauphin County Board of Commissioners, join the community in celebrating the groundbreaking of Woodward Lofts. Whereas Woodward Lofts aims to expand housing options for seniors by addressing a growing regional need for accessible and affordable units that support aging in place with dignity. Whereas this 48-unit age-restricted, 62-plus affordable housing community will provide safe, high-quality, and energy-efficient homes for older adults living on fixed or limited incomes. Whereas, beyond providing homes, Woodward Lofts strengthens Dauphin County's long-term community health and stability, reducing the risks of isolation, housing insecurity, and homelessness among older residents. Whereas this project also contributes to local revitalization efforts, generating construction jobs, leveraging state and local investment, and aligning with the Latino Connection Foundation's mission to advance housing, health equity, and economic resilience for vulnerable populations. Commissioner Hartwick, come on up. Therefore, we join the 293,000 residents of Dauphin County in welcoming the start of this new facility and looking forward to its completion. And we do hereby proudly proclaim, George, finishing up,
November 18th as Woodward Lofts Day in Dauphin County. Congratulations. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. I guess we arrived right on time. Stilton time, that is. It's my grateful honor to be here. Obviously, George Fernandez has always had the heart for a level of service and has recently engaged in a series of housing redevelopment, affordable housing projects that have really made an impact on this region. This one is no exception. Obviously, this is a former site of the Woodward School. One that I don't know the history that's been told before we got here, but I remember the challenges that the school board had and the ability to have an adaptive reuse to be able to address what we are in as a affordable housing crisis in this country and in this region. The ability to focus on senior housing and to expand that vision and future use is something that we are truly proud to support from the county commissioners level. George has been an incredible partner on all levels, from through the pandemic, through his development that it currently exists, and we look forward to being here not only just to turn dirt, but to be able to celebrate the new residents that find their home right here at this location. So thank you, George. Thank you for your investment, and thank you to everyone who has contributed to this incredible project.
To everyone who's gathered, Robin Weissman, I won't call you about this one anymore. This is an awesome, awesome moment. I am from West Philly and live in West Philly, but understand, as Speaker of the House and with my colleagues here in Dauphin County, Representatives Davidson, Fleming, and Madsen, housing is number one. We don't have to even leave the Capitol to understand that there is a serious housing challenge right here in the city of Harrisburg, just like it is, unfortunately, all over our nation. Before we got started, I spoke to a couple of neighbors from the block right here in Allison Hills to just get the feel of how is this going and what was the engagement like. And of course, mi hermano George did all the hard footwork with the Latino Foundation to make sure that the neighbors have a say in what's happening here and to make sure that they give the green light, not only for this project, but for all the ones to come. And I know, like you, we know we're going to be back soon, not only opening the doors, but continuing to turn dirt to respond to the needs. And I'm so grateful that for this hour, we have people like George Fernandez and his entire team standing in the gap, meeting the needs, doing the work. Thank you.
As District Office Director for Senator Kim, I can tell you that this project is deeply personal to us. I receive calls from constituents struggling to find affordable and available housing every day. These are families right here in Harrisburg who are working hard but can't find a place to call home. Projects like this, the ones that Latino Connection prioritize building, help alleviate housing needs and honor the dignity of our neighbors. Senator Kim and our entire office want to extend our sincere congratulations to George Fernandez and the Latino Connection Foundation for their continued commitment to our community. We are excited to see this completed development. My mother owned a home at 1853 Boa Street, and I'm proud to be Dominican and that a Dominican person is building in our community. George, gracias por todo lo que haces por nuestra comunidad. Te lo agradecemos. Gracias.
It's an honor to be here with our colleagues from the General Assembly, Madam Speaker, Senator Kim's office, our Dauphin County commissioners, and George. Just a huge heartfelt thanks to you and your whole team at the Latino Connection. George and Latino Connection have been an incredible partner with me going way back to when I was a county commissioner in Montgomery County before I became secretary. We worked with the Latino Connection during COVID-19 to make sure that everybody in our community who wanted a COVID vaccine or needed testing had the ability to get that vaccine. Latino Connection always shows up when we need them, and this project is another incredible example of their commitment to the community and filling those gaps, right? Filling that need. And Mayor, thank you so much for helping them acquire this land. Again, as a former commissioner, I know that often just getting the piece of land is one of the hardest steps. And so the fact that you've made an ongoing commitment to this work and to making more parcels available, that really bodes well for a bright future to begin to meet needs here in Harrisburg and in Dauphin County. So kudos to all of you. On behalf of the Department of Human Services, I just want you to know that projects like this go a long way to meeting our vision that every Pennsylvanian has a safe and healthy place to live. As a physician, I know that housing, access to healthy food, and transportation impact about 80% of a person's health. And I say that as a physician who used to, for years, took care of patients. But I stepped away from that work because I saw so clearly that it was these issues outside of the exam room that I could not write a prescription for that really had the largest impact on somebody's health. And so I couldn't be more excited to be here today as part of this groundbreaking. I am thrilled to hear that there's going to be more of this work. And I also want to make sure you know that you have a committed partner in Governor Shapiro and his team. Thanks to investments in last year's state budget, the available FAIR funding this year is over $85 million. That is the highest amount that it's ever been. And of course, I don't have to explain to the folks in this room that FAIR funding is the most flexible, can be used in the most creative ways, has the least strings attached to it of the many, many funding streams that we all work on braiding together to actually create a project like this. So just want you to know for sure that the governor stands with you and is deeply committed to this work. And then one final note. I just want to give George and his team some real props on the way that they have conceived what this building is going to be like, the experience that the people who live in this building are going to have. At a time when access to essential services for our community members are being threatened by our federal government in unprecedented ways, this building will have full-time staff or nearly full-time staff that will be there to work with the residents to make sure that somebody doesn't accidentally get kicked off their Medicaid because of ridiculous red tape requirements that the current federal administration is putting on our friends and neighbors. Those sorts of resources and assistance are going to be more important than ever. So not only do I love the way that the community has been engaged in the building of this project, what the speaker talked about as such an important foundational piece. Once it's built, the way that it's going to run is going to continue that same important person-centered, community member-centered approach to make sure that everybody who lives in this building doesn't just live in a building, but they are thriving in this building. So congratulations to all of you. So honored to be able to be here with you today, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you, George.
My long-term board member, Gary Lenker, is here. Jessica Perry sitting behind him, she is really working it. She is making all these deals happen. I always tell people she is so good because she looks for solutions and she makes it happen. So I'm thrilled to have him here today, and I have another colleague here, Mark Rooney. But I really want to applaud you, George, on your professionalism and your competency, which we need in all of our developers. You guys do a terrific job in terms of your communications, your organization, and that bodes so well for getting these deals done. That's what we care about, keeping the conveyor belt moving and getting these deals done in the ground so people can enjoy the things the Secretary is talking about in terms of their quality of life. It's really exciting. Just a year ago, November 4th, a year ago, we celebrated the ribbon cutting of TLC's Cornerstone, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. That was really exciting. There's another development up in Erie that I'll mention in a few minutes that's relevant for our Developer Opportunity Fund. But the other thing I was really excited when I got out of the car, I was like, this is beautiful today. I don't even need a coat. That was very exciting for me. No, we're blessed to have such a nice day. But George, leaving no stone unturned, made sure that we were going to be protected if it was wild and crazy out. I do want to acknowledge, of course, all the officials here. Mayor Williams, Speaker McClinton, of course, County Commissioner Prees and Hartwick, and as well as Senator Kim's office. So good of you all to be here. I think all of this and Dr. Arkush being here is a terrific way of underscoring just how important affordable housing is to this administration. And I think that their work, the administration's work with the Latino Connection, as well as other developers around Harrisburg, really bodes well for Harrisburg. Just driving up here is a beautiful neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood, and we just have to revitalize and get more going in the neighborhood. I know that PHFA, I always get to talk about the numbers a little bit. PHFA knows that building affordable, accessible housing around the Commonwealth has never been more important. And yes, it's a reflection of the housing crisis across the country. The only thing I bemoan is the fact that it's so complicated and there's so many pieces to getting housing done. So we do, however, have to play with the cards we're dealt and make sure that we pull all of those pieces together. So I just want to give you a couple of numbers. Of the nearly 19 million estimated development costs, just over 18.5 million was financed by public entities. So don't let anybody tell you government doesn't work. It works. and it cares. There's a big difference. It's not about earnings per share every quarter. Government cares about your life, and government is contributing all that it can, all of the resources it can to get these deals done. This is such a substantial investment, and I want to just tick off a couple of the things that compose that $18 million. $1.2 million is a PHFA mortgage loan. Just over $2 million is Penn Homes funding. $950,000 of it is from the Fair Housing Trust Fund. And then $555,000 is from Pennsylvania Housing Tax Credits, which we just got terrific improvement fund, and thank the state legislature for improving so we can get more yield out of that state tax credit. And then $1.43 million is low-income housing tax credits from the federal government, and that generated over $13 million to this. So you can see, and then PNC is a tax credit investor on this deal. And so you can see it's complex, and it shouldn't be this complicated, but for sure, we're going to make sure this happens. We also, and George had asked me to comment about this, PHFA has also been supportive and created something called the Developer Opportunity Fund. The Developer Opportunity Fund is a financing program that we established in 2021 to promote the growth and financial capabilities of minority-owned businesses and community developers like the Latino Connection Foundation. Many of these developers with the vision, the skills, and the success record do not have the liquidity or the net worth to obtain all of the financing possible. So we provide a loan to augment their balance sheet. So tax credit investors, please forgive me for the weeds, but that makes the private sector more likely to invest in them. And we expect this to grow and grow going forward. TLC Cornerstone was one. And what I mentioned before, we have a development in Erie that is also Royal Homes that we hope to close this fall. So by the end of the year, we'll have over $6 million committed in this, and we've already allocated over 10. So we're just really getting started with this, and we're really hopeful we will grow it and make sure that developers who have the vision, the energy, and the competencies get the financing they need. That's what we do as a financing entity. So 2 other things I want to mention. So I'm very excited about that. 2 other things I want to mention. The ever important role of public-private partnerships. That was a really big mantra a number of years ago, but it's more true, and it's not in vogue right now. I'm not quite sure. But public-private partnerships are critical to getting deals done. We want the private sector to thrive. They love building these buildings. So we just have to get to all of the financing details in order to make this work. And the second thing I want to mention is the Governor's Housing Action Plan, which both Secretary Arkush and I traversed the Commonwealth in the cold last year, not like today, but in the cold all over the Commonwealth, to get input from people around the Commonwealth about the issues that matter to them for housing. And I remember actually up in Erie, some really small builders, contractors who just want to figure out how they can get engaged. And we need to grow them because they're the ones who are in the neighborhoods, they're in the communities, and they're the ones who are going to make a big difference. So the great takeaway that I have said more than once is that the issues the Commonwealth faces in terms of housing are the same everywhere. There are certain demographic distinctions and population, but it doesn't matter if you're urban, rural, or suburban. We heard the same thing all across the state. So we should relish and be happy that we know we have to solve the same problem, the same challenges for everyone. That is the good news. I'm hopeful that now that there's a state budget, the Governor's Housing Action Plan will be issued at some point, but it's going to require a lot of work from everyone to flesh out the details, figure out how we're going to allocate, how the money's going to happen and how it's going to get allocated. But I mention this to you, number one, because it underscores how committed this governor is. And it's the first time Pennsylvania has had a comprehensive housing assessment done. So we welcome that, and I'm hopeful that it will provide the framework to move forward in terms of housing. And finally, I just want to say Harrisburg is special because of where it is. And it houses our state government. And it's also the physical location of Harrisburg really does underscore the Keystone State, just in terms of the proximity to everywhere. We have to invest in Harrisburg. We want the community to thrive even more than it is today, and this is a significant milestone. I went over my time, I apologize, George, but I'm committed, feel so strongly about this. And no, I'm done, I'm really done. But congratulations to all of you for being here, for celebrating this, and onward.
For those of you I haven't had the pleasure to meet, my name is George Fernandez. I grew up in affordable housing. I remember we lived in this really ghetto-ass apartment. The stove had 4 burners, but only 1 burner worked. So by the time the chicken was done, the rice was cold. And that is the purpose of why I started to build affordable housing. But I got to tell you, someone told me a long time ago, George, that's not easy work. And I said, of course it's easy work. Everybody will care about affordable housing. And if I would have known it was this much work, man, I would rewind the clock. I have a very special person here with me today, my husband Nelson and my daughter Hema Georgina. Nelson, will you join me up here with Hema, please? This land carries decades of stories. Stories of children running to class, teachers shaping young lives, and families building community. And today, we begin a new chapter on this same soil. A chapter of safety, dignity, and home for our seniors. When this was just a dream, I had no idea how hard it would be to get here. If I'm being honest, if I had known, I actually may not have even done it. There were days where it felt impossible. Days when the red tape felt endless. Days when the obstacles felt heavier than the actual mission. And I understand now, more than ever, why not many people choose to walk this road. So to those who walk it with me, I take my hat off to you. But then you reach a moment like today, and suddenly every sleepless night, every setback, and every moment of doubt becomes worth it. To everyone who made this possible, thank you doesn't feel big enough. To PHFA and Director Weissman and Jessica Perry and your team, you should have given up on me a long, long time ago, and you didn't. So thank you so much for your continued commitment, your patience, and your support for carrying us through moments when this dream wavered. Thank you for not giving up on us. To PNC, thank you for answering every call, for guiding us through this maze, and yes, for introducing me to the coolest Excel spreadsheet I've ever seen in my life. You hung us in there when it mattered most. To our elected officials who picked up the phone every time I needed help, that's right, it's you, Dr. William, Dr. All the amazing elected officials, Speaker McClinton, Mayor Williams, the commissioners, thank you so much for your love and your friendship. To our contractors, builders, architects, environmental teams, and even the consultants, thank you for lending your expertise and your dedication to something that is more than just a project. It's a promise to this community. To my husband and my family, who saw the tears, the early mornings, frustrations, watched me dart from meeting to meeting and still push me to keep going, your love made this possible. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And to our neighbors, I think Karen and Nikki are here somewhere, 2 of our neighbors that are joining us. Thank you. Thank you for believing in this vision. It started rocky, and together over Karen's dining room, we came together. Food brought us together, and the mission for community did too. So thank you so much. I want to give a special heartfelt thank you. I know that in the beginning it wasn't easy for everyone to agree on this project, and that's okay. What mattered most is that you invited us into conversation, you shared your worries, your hopes, your vision. for what this space should be. We talked, we listened, we learned together, and those conversations shaped the final renderings of the heart that Woodward will become. Today's new beginning belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. And finally, to our board of directors and even our amazing interim grants and development manager, Heather, thank you so much for your commitment to the volunteers on the board who take time away from their families to serve. And to my mentor, a strong woman of color who isn't able to be here today, who reminds me again and again to keep going, especially when the road gets hard. Thank you for being my compass. Today isn't just a groundbreaking. It's proof of what can happen when community leads the way. When we choose listening over assumptions, because I thought I knew what this community needed, and I did not. It was the neighbors that taught me what this community needed, and I say thank you to you. Thank you for choosing compassion over convenience and purpose over fear. On this land where children once dreamed and now build a future where our seniors can live with dignity, respect, and love. Thank you all so much for believing in Woodward and for helping to turn one little kid's dream into a new beginning for this city. Thank you all so much. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Woo!